Been live here for a little bit. Sorry, my voice is mostly back, but early mornings. Hopefully, people will jump in the chat here. Um, let's see. Doesn't look like I can sign into the chat right now. Oh, Mr. Comics 89. Good morning, Matt. How you doing, buddy? Let me see if I got to slide over here. My girls are asleep. My girls are still out like lights. I was hoping by 8:30 they'd wake up. Hasn't happened yet. Hello, Jack B from Michigan. Jack B was, I think he was buying some rounds in the last Discovery Bay auction that I was watching. So thank you for doing that. It was very nice of you to do it, brother. Hopefully they arrived okay, Matt. If you notice, I've got a slightly different system going on today with titles and all kinds of excitement going on. That's because I'm testing out Streamlabs again, and hopefully it's coming through clear and easy to see. I got the chat going here on the side and all these kinds of little things. I'm thinking that for the shows I do without guests, I might do it on this system. It might work a little better. So thank you for those of you jumping in here. Looks like I got about 6 people and the chat's bumping. So very nice of you guys to come by. I was just sending you a message, Chad. Let's see. He was asking about the word bubbles on the Comic Core, and yes, we do that on our Wednesday show. So let's see who's in the chat. Big Will has an auction starting in about 40 minutes. Just head over there. He is doing the Saturday comic book community dollar bin pop-up shop kind of thing over there on his channel. I've hosted it. Discovery Bay hosts it once a month, and Big Will is hosting it. It is a really fun event, and it's a lot of fun, and I try to join as often as I can. I've been on Discovery Bays, I've done it on mine, and I'll have to join Big Will at some point. I'm just not ready for this weekend. Not ready, but definitely subscribe to him and go over there and join him. And then I said hello to Jack B and Mr. Comics 89, which is Matt. And hello to Katie Kaboom. Good morning to you. And hello to Chad 90 Miles from Comics. No worries. So Chad has his little 90, little YouTube is 90 at his house. And when my girls were born, I had to take breaks from comics. I didn't have the money or the time to enjoy them. And so I was giving him some of the digital codes to the books I want to make sure he stays live with, that he's up on. So I don't want him missing out. I don't want him missing out on, like, Daredevil right now is so unbelievably good, and I'll get to that here in a little bit. So I'm glad to help, brother. No Good Comics, good morning to you. He's got a great Instagram and YouTube. His stuff cracks me up. He's got great reviews. He's very funny. Love it. Backseat Driver is my homie in the chat. Hello. He's the guy that if I win the hunt next Friday, I'm on the hunt again next Friday with Tony Sanders. I'm going to only win because of Backseat Driver, because he gave me a great deal on 4 books, and I'm probably going to use all of them on the hunt next week. I'm not sick. I've had that lost my throat, my voice thing for about a week, but I think it's better. It's just early morning that it gets a little raspy. Old Wolf, good to see you, my man. Let's see. I heard some teachers in California being affected by Corona. Everything's still good for you. Do you need extra time off now? So last night, the school districts in my area, all of them sort of unanimously decided that they would start spring break Monday. So there's no school next week, and the week after, and possibly the week after that. All the school districts have decided to shut down and go to online classes and to take any holidays and any staff development days and sort of lump them into an extended break. I'm supposed to go into school on Monday and collect my things and meet with the resource teachers and kind of prepare how we can do online classes so that we can roll that out here in the coming weeks. So yeah, I'm not teaching in a classroom with students for this foreseeable few weeks ahead of me. So it's going down. It's happening. This is a big deal, Good morning. Kate's here. Guys, one of my daughters woke up, and it's the big one. Hi, Snookums. So, yeah, I don't have any plans to be in a classroom here again for a little while. I'll do like remote classroom stuff with my students, and we'll see how long it takes. I think they're just trying to. I think JP's budget collecting explained it really well. He calls it. He said it's a term called flattening the curve, where they just make sure that there's not this huge influx to hospitals. They slow this thing down so that hospitals have a chance to get all the resources together for all the people that will likely get this thing at some point. So it's just a way to kind of control that, and they call it flattening the curve, is what I've heard it called. Backseat driver likes Streamlabs too. I like it too. Did you notice the difference here, Kate? It's Saturday morning with Kate and Charlie, although technically it's just you and me. They got our numbers. We got our chat here.
Charlie's awake. She's just trying to sleep.
It's all right. She can sleep. It's all right. There he is, JP. We were just talking about you, brother. One of my wrenches in the chat. Just Rican's in there. Thank you so much for coming by. 3-week mandatory leave. Yeah, I think it's everybody's looking at it as about 3 weeks. My private school next week is it was only a 4-day work week anyways. So they've lumped in a couple of staff development days to make it really just a 2-day week that we're missing. And then they've pushed spring break for both Kate's school and mine up a bunch. So they'll lump that 5-day vacation in there as well. And hopefully have a better idea of how this is going to work in a couple of weeks.
It's so weird.
It is very weird. Let's see. Who else did I miss? Anybody else in the chat? I think I've said hello to everybody.
I'm fascinated with the mic.
It is. Jack B has stated the truth. It is a great time to get caught up on your comics. I'm caught up on my current reading. I'm always good about, I bought 6 books and I read my 6 books, but I buy trades. I buy a ton of them. I love reading in trade, especially on stories I missed out on. So I'm going to be catching up on my trades, and that's what I was doing the last week. It's funny because 2 of my first friends in this community, JD Comics, who's part of the Comic Corps, and Reggie Collects. We all know Big Reggie. We're both talking about this week. These are the first 18 issues of Jason Aaron's Thor run. It includes the God Butcher Gore and the God Bomb storyline. Really cool stuff. So the God Butcher, Kate, in case you don't know, is this horrible monster who has this powerful weapon that he is using to try to kill all the gods in the universe. He thinks the gods are horrible and they never answer your prayers and that we shouldn't have gods anymore. And so he is wiping them out. Thor finds out about it because several gods go missing and he's trying to fix it. It's powerful, and it ends with a storyline called the God Bomb because Gore has created a weapon that will kill gods across time. So a young Thor and an old Thor and all the different Thors, right? It's a powerful story, really, really amazing. And I've just finished the first major story arc. So amazing and good. So let me get caught up on the chat here. Let's see. Just a Rican saying hello. Everybody says it's the same with a lot of the school districts taking a couple weeks off.
Daddy.
Old Wolf says his hospital's getting ready for the worst. I think you have to. I mean, the older people who get this are going to need a lot of medical assistance. That's just the way it's going to be. It's just the reality. Tacoma says 6 weeks. Oh my God. South Dakota, the school week off for online learning. Yep. My wife is off for 2 weeks as backseat driver. Degor Vidal says, no outbreak where I live. However, school has been suspended next week and people are flooding the grocery stores. Yeah, I think a lot of people are acting like this is a bigger deal. And I think calmer heads will hopefully prevail. The idea that you can still go to the grocery store. You can still buy things when you need to go to the grocery store. It's not that big of a deal. It's more just those huge, again, a comic convention or a theme park. Those big interactions are the ones that are generally a little scarier, a little more concerning, I should say, especially for high-risk people like babies, people with injured immune systems, and the elderly. What? You want to share your book?
Sure.
Well, I'm not done with mine yet, and I want to catch up with the chat, too. People aren't allowed in certain buildings. Yep. Okay, so No Good says he just finished reading this book. So this is volume 1 of the complete Jason Aaron Thor. And I've bought volume 2, which finishes this stuff and moves into the Jane Foster stuff that I already know and love. So I'm excited to finish this. It looks really, really great. JP says he needs to snag some trades. InStockTrades.com. If you don't like buying them at shops, InStockTrades.com I think is the website, and they've got incredible deals on trades. I only buy mine at LCSs because I like to support the LCSs. So I go in a local shop, and if I find nothing I want, I'll just go to the trades and I'll buy a trade that I want another volume in. I try not to go to an LCS and buy nothing. If I walk out with nothing, I'm in a bad mood. Something went down. So my LCS has had these for 30% off, and I've been buying them when I go in. So I've got volume 1 and volume 2, and I'll buy volume 3 when that rolls out. Let's see. Gore is a great villain, says No God. He is an awesome villain. Super creepy and super cool. And if I know that Donny Cates and Jason Aaron have to connect Null, the god of the symbiotes, and Gore, the god butcher's power with the Necro sword, I think it's got to all come together. This is clearly, says Derek Magnus says it beautifully. I think Gore, the sword, Null, and Black Winter are definitely connected. I totally agree. Absolutely worth it. People are buying way too much toilet paper. Hey, that's the reality. Volume 1 is my favorite, says Backseat Driver, but we kind of already discussed that. Yeah, I mean, I've loved the Jane Foster stuff, but now having read the God Bomb and the Gore storyline, I'm in. Kate's already bored. Look at her. She's like, ugh, stop talking about Thor. I've got you some breakfast. Do you want to have a bite before you come in? There's a little breakfast in there. Let's see. All the panic and buying. Yeah, people are funny. Now, Mr. Comics, I've made that same joke several times. Now is the time to call your plumber and ask for a bidet, right? Yeah, Tacoma says independent grocery stores are good. Also, gas stations. Gas stations stock this stuff. Circle K's and 7-Elevens stock these things. And people don't always go there. It's just everybody crowds Costco, and it goes a little crazy. James Gallegos is in here. Good morning to you, sir. My LCS does 25% off all trade paperbacks. That's great. And my LCS has a huge collection of what they call used trades. These are basically half off trades, but they're in great shape. And I buy a ton that way. So I'm always happy to find comics and trades that way. I'll buy an Image number 1 for regular cover price, whatever, $9.99, but I'll buy volume 2 when it's in 50% off. I love all that stuff. I only have one LCS in my city. Yeah, that's the problem, Katie. And I've got one. My local shop is 10 minutes from me, and I love it. But I've also got another one that's about 30 minutes away, and another that's about 50 or 45 minutes away. And those are the 3 that I regularly hit, and they've almost always got something. But I do think I'm pretty fortunate that way.
Dad?
Yes?
I think that the other 2 aren't really good. We don't find a lot there, do we?
I like Comics, Tunes, and Toys. It's called Comics TNT, and I find a bunch of stuff there. That's, for those that don't know, that's the shop that TiVo, Lord of the Long Box, that's his shop. That he and I are basically in the same, within 20 minutes drive of probably each other.
Yeah.
And we have met. We met at WonderCon. I said hello to him at WonderCon last year. And he uses Comics, Tunes, and Toys. And whenever I go over there, I always send him a message saying, "Hey, I'm in your shop here." And that's what my favorite one to go to outside of my local shop. So they always have great wall books, and they've got every trade you could probably ever want. It's this huge selection. It's a much bigger shop than my shop. But I love my shop owner, Kenny, at Nuclear Comics and Skate. Is just an awesome guy. You've known Kenny.
Nuclear Comics and Skate?
Yeah, his shop used to be a comic book and skateboard shop. You used to be able to buy your decks and your trucks and all the stuff for your skateboard there. But comics is doing so well now, he's kind of phased out the skateboard stuff a little bit. So it's less...
I never knew... Does it say on the sign?
I don't know if it's... I think it just says Nuclear Comics on the outside, but the old location he used to be at, he'd have a whole bunch of skate...
Spider-Man?
Yeah, well, giant. I mean, it was smaller than me, but yeah. He had all these decks and trucks and things behind him.
Cool.
Matt says, John, what's MegaCon looking like? Still good and going, canceled, staying, or canceled, staying? It looks like they're going to cancel it or postpone it. I think they posted a thing saying they're waiting and they're going to see, but I have a feeling MegaCon will be postponed in some way. And so I might wait to buy my plane ticket to see kind of how that is going to be. I'm going to go to Florida at some point. If they completely cancel MegaCon, I'll go, but I'll just go when as many community members are there as possible. I want to go at the same time that the community is going to be there. Thank you for coming by, Jabroni. And yeah, I'm trying the OBS again on my new laptop. This is a gaming laptop. I thought it could manage that a little bit. Let me know if this seems like stuttery or anything. It looks good on my end, but it's hard to know what it looks like on the other end. So I'm gonna go to MegaCon. It'll just depend on when. I'm gonna go to Orlando. It'll depend on what they do with MegaCon. I want to go when all the community is gonna be there. When Big E is gonna be there, and the Boy Wed 7, and Robert Galvin, and Bueller, and Sam. I want to go when people are gonna be there, right? Not just the Florida community that'll always be there. So I want to time it right. It'll depend on everybody else. JP's trying to get me to go to Missouri instead. I think that's where JP is, in Missouri. Yeah, I agree. The old skate and comic shops back in the day were awesome. Look into the cancellation policy. A lot of airlines have been putting in terms because of the virus. Yeah, that's why I haven't bought my ticket yet. So I have not purchased anything. I still have my money. I'm still holding on to it. Good morning, Los. Good to see you here. Yeah. You want to share your first book? You ready? Kate's got her first book.
I'm fascinated with the microphone setup.
What do you mean? The
How
little
it goes up and
the
down.
sound meter?
The little guy. He looks like a little human, and then he goes down when someone's talking.
Yeah, we can see our sound meter going across and back and forth while we talk to you all.
It's so cool.
Big Will says, as of now, my con going at the same time as MegaCon put out a statement they have no intention of canceling. Ooh, that's an interesting move. Haven't seen that one. Yes, Sharon, Charlie is still laying down in bed trying to sleep, like my wife. Kate just rolled in a little bit ago. Missouri. Haha, JP. All right, Kate, what's your first book?
My only book, sadly. 'Cause I didn't...
You only brought one book out?
Yeah. It's called Kingdom Keepers.
Even if it's still on, don't think I'm going anymore. Yeah, you can't risk it with little kids or people who've had surgery recently, or in any way injured immune systems, or the elderly. You got to just be triple careful. You just really. I mean, my parents would love to spend time with the girls, but they're taking a break from grandkids right now just to kind of pump the brake. And a lot of them, like Jabroni is saying, are being pushed to summer somewhere.
Okay, so it's called Kingdom Keepers, Disney After Dark. My Miss Ginny gave this to me.
Are they connected to like the Descendants from Disney, or is this separate?
I wish, but this is before Descendants.
Kate's a big Descendants fan. If you haven't seen that.
I recently got into that. It's good, but so it's a series, and I don't know how long it is. It's by Disney Hyperion, so it's attached to Disney.
And the author is Ridley Pearson.
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's about these 5 kids who have been chosen to it's like this, how Disney would be in the future, basically.
Gotcha.
And Disney, they created this thing called it's on the back, it says DHI, Disney Host Interactive and Daylight Hologram Imaging. So it's like a hologram of these 5 kids, and they're touring people around Disneyland.
Gotcha.
And
so it's like artificial tour, like a fake tour. Okay.
And I've only just started it, so I'm on like the first chapter. They're very long chapters, okay? But so I just started reading it, and can you read the back? Cause
you want me to read the whole thing?
Some of it,
In this fantastic thriller, 5 young teens trapped as models for theme park guides find themselves pitted against Disney's villains and witches, who threaten both the future of Walt Disney World and the stability of the world outside its walls. Using a cutting-edge technology called DHI, which stands for both Disney Host Interactive and Daylight Hologram Imaging, Finn Whitman, an Orlando teen, and 4 other kids are transformed into hologram projections that guide guests through the park. However, the new technology turns out to have unexpected effects that are both thrilling and scary.
Isn't that cool?
Very exciting. Yeah, very exciting. You finish it, or are you in the middle somewhere?
I just started it.
Oh, you just started it. Okay, very exciting.
That's why I asked you to read it, because I don't know a whole lot about it.
All right. I know you've also been reading these turtle books I've got behind me. How have you been? How did you enjoy those? What did you think?
I mean, I've read them before,
Okay.
so I kind of already knew the story, but it was pretty cool because Hydra Collectibles. Hello.
Good morning, Luke. Or I guess it's probably getting to be pretty late. Good night, maybe. Good evening, your time.
Is IV 5 or 4?
IV is 4. That's the last one.
I haven't read that one. I don't think I've already read.
The one where there's, let's see, 4 is the one when it's basically Leonardo fighting all those ninjas by himself in the snow. He's running in the snow. That's my favorite one. I think Volume 4 is probably the best story.
But can I take this one down?
Well, if you do, you're gonna knock down other stuff. You need 4. No, number 1. Yeah, I'm not gonna knock anything down.
But so I liked I already knew the story of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but it's still pretty cool. And you know how people that today say don't do that instead of do not do that.
Okay.
They're so do not do that.
So they're not using
can't.
They're not using the contractions or anything.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We do not like to run from those who would be our allies, but they would
Allies.
But they would not understand us. Wouldn't understand us. Then it tells the story of Shredder and Splinter and the Turtles all in one.
Did you notice the Daredevil connection?
Yes, it's about to hit a blind man.
About to hit an old man in the street, and a young man saves him, and the toxic waste hits that guy in the face. That guy later becomes blind, and that's Daredevil. Then the toxic waste falls and hits the turtles and falls in the sewer and creates the Super Turtles and Shredder. It's a fun connection. I always thought was cool. Yeah, Hydra. I love these sort of magazine-sized, colorized versions of the early Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle stories. If you watched the Ninja Turtles discussion that Jabroni and Alec and I did a while back, I was showing some of these off. I just really enjoyed those early stories, and yeah, I shared some of the cool splash pages that come in this storyline. So cool, awesome. Yes, that's a first print of number 2, the first appearance of Spider-Gwen.
I think
I had 2 of them, but I sold, I think, the slightly higher grade one, maybe a 9.4 it was, but it wasn't graded. I sold that one, and it paid for both. So then this one basically only cost me slabbing and cleaning and pressing, and it's a 9.0. It's a nice one, not a throwaway. Let's see. I missed somebody said something. Baxi says they're offering better cancellation policies for airfare. That's cool. Maybe it's a good time. Mr. Comic says he never gets sick. Hey, Derek Magnus is here. Thank you for coming by. Let's see. Did I miss anybody else? I think that was it.
I haven't vomited in a really long time.
Oh, geez. Are we going into that right now? Wow. And I thought Perry was bad at derailing shows. Now you're going to derail us?
Sorry.
I don't think we need to talk about being sick and throwing up. Let's just
You
veer back.
started it.
I was talking about a medical crisis. You're talking about all the physical illnesses, symptoms. Ugh. I think we should talk about comics instead, personally. What do you think?
You did.
You're all done? Then go get another bite to eat. Let's see here. Game Swappers and Lady F, Shortbox Padawan, and others will be joining me. Says Tacoma Comics. Yeah, he's got an auction going on today too. So Big Will's got one. Tacoma's got one. I know that Comic Head 84's got one. There's a lot of good auctions today. So if you're looking to pick up some books and you're skipping all the cons because con season basically is moved,
might be a good way to do it. Cardstock variant, good morning. Good, thank you for coming by. Robert, I just mentioned you this morning. The comic book G-Spot Galvin is in the chat. I want to see you too, Robert, at some point, but it sounds like MegaCon might end up being moved or postponed. We'll see what they end up deciding officially. They haven't said anything official yet. John, did you get those Walmart TMT figures? No, I don't buy a lot of figures. So I don't have it. I mean, when I was a kid, I had all the action figures, the ones that Jabroni's got an amazing collection of. But I don't buy that kind of stuff anymore. Anyone is invited, says Tacoma, says, oh, if you want to join in on selling some stuff on Tacoma's channel, fellow teacher, an awesome guy, and fellow Die fan, check out Ian over at Tacoma Comics. He will help you out. All right. Good night to Mark the Cuddy Sark. I hope you're staying healthy there, brother. All right, so let's talk about the best book I've probably read in the last 2 weeks is this issue of Daredevil. I freaking loved this, man. I loved this issue. This is issue 19 of Daredevil. Holy cow, what a good issue this was. Daredevil has been dealing with warring crime families in his part of New York. Everybody trying to, outthink each other in this sort of war. Each family sort of vying for power. And Daredevil, Matt Murdock took the costume off. He's just Matt Murdock, or occasionally he puts the black, mask on his head and goes out, but he's not. He's refusing to be Daredevil. And it all just got really crazy when one of the crime families paid all these villains to come and just destroy part of the city to prove that they own the rest of the city. And they even paid off the cops to stay out. So it was just down to Matt to try to get there and stop it. You had Bullseye, you had Typhoid Mary, you had the Rhino, you had Stiltman, you had all these villains there. And it was awesome. It was crazy, crazy good. Sorry, Wolf Warner, did I miss you? Wolf Warner's in the chat. Sorry, buddy. Another awesome teacher in the chat. Hopefully getting some time off. Did I hear Daredevil? I stopped washing dishes for this. Honestly, Daredevil's so good. So good. Amazing. JP says, I already have a target for my funds that were supposed to go to PlanetCon. There you go. Smart budgeting, man. You got to be smart budgeting. If we get a chance to check out my latest video, Making Sense of Pence. I saw that. So he's got a video looking at the Pence variants, or the British versions of classic comics. Like I know that Star Wars #1 Pence variant is a big, big deal. So I'll definitely be checking that out. Gorvidal says, Terry Moore from Strangers in Paradise is having a home con from Houston online, Facebook and Instagram, free shipping for any purchases. That's cool. I didn't hear about that. That's awesome, Gorvidal. So this issue sets up another. Obviously, issue 20 is going to be the big one. But Daredevil at the end of this, spoiler for a 2-week-old comic, puts on the Daredevil helmet again at the end of this, and he's ready to just throw down against Bullseye and these other guys. So freaking cool. I'm very, very excited about that. Daredevil has been really great. Have to watch this on the rewind. No worries, Robert. Hope you have good luck. Patrick Kelly's in the chat. He says they canceled school for 3 weeks here. Yeah, it's looking to be about 3 weeks here as well, but they're lumping spring break in there. So it's 2 weeks of actual instruction that are being missed. And then my school is lumping staff development days in there. So hopefully it'll come out to maybe like a little over a week of actual instruction that we're missing. And that week will be online classes that hopefully fill those gaps and make us feel like we're still meeting our curriculum. Zdarsky is a better writer or artist? That's a great question, Ian. I like his writing. I think I put his writing top, but I think he's obviously hugely talented. Either way, I like him as a writer first and foremost. That's what I've noticed most from him. And I think my favorite issues of this Daredevil run are the ones that, is it Chiquetto? Chichetto. The ones that this artist is drawing are my personal favorites, and they have the Tedesco covers that I freaking think are amazing and just fire. So issue 19 is, this feels like the Immortal Hulk a year ago, when it was like hitting on all cylinders and everything was working and the art was great and the covers were ridiculous and the story was amazing. When it was Ewing and it was Bennett and it was at the covers by Ross, all that stuff together. This feels the same way. Tedesco on the covers, Chichetto on the art, and Zdarsky writing. It's just been fire. And I'll be very sad if that team breaks up at some point. I know they're doing issue 20. I haven't heard anything about issue 21. So for me, it feels like exactly where Daredevil was where Immortal Hulk was a year ago. So if they give me an ending point where that team leaves, that might be when I stop reading it. I'm not sure yet. Govidal says Daredevil was good. I like the surprise appearance at the end. Have you read the Ann Nocenti? I don't know that one. Run of Daredevil. I have not. I'm not familiar with that. Not sure this is smart. We're going to give it a shot, says JP. Is that the JP is probably talking about flattening the curve a little bit there, seeing if it's going to work. I wonder if Daredevil will slowly put out more of the costume. I mean, he might. I think he's supposed to be fully back as Daredevil in issue 20, because I think that's the end of this whole story arc, and that they're going to start something new in issue 21. So I think that's what I heard was the plan here. Stephanie's in the chat. Hello. Kate went to get a bite to eat. She's hiding in the other room. Oh, she heard her name. She's moving around. Chris Sherrick is in the chat. He really liked this entire run of Daredevil. I did too. It took me a little while to come around to it. Once I heard they brought the Punisher in, that's when I jumped back on board, and I've been with it from then on. Cooper came down strong on this channel. What does that mean? I don't know what that means. Copper, sorry. Kappa did? Are you talking about Copper? I don't know what he's saying. I don't know what you're saying there, brother. Daredevil will slowly put on more of the costume. Where did Kate go? I really like this run of Daredevil. See, here's Kate. Here. Kirk is in the chat. Another great teacher and a soul brother. We have comics on the mind. Do you have comics on the mind?
Wait, do you know Stephanie McLaughlin?
I don't. I mean, she's in my chat.
I told one of my friends at school, and his last name is McLaughlin.
Oh, do you? Oh, is Stephanie related to somebody that Kate knows?
Do you know Trevor McLaughlin? That's my question.
Is it Trevor? Is this any relation to Trevor? What's up, Trevor, if it's Trevor? Let's see, who else do we got in here? Tacoma says the Daredevil runs amazing, flying a bit under the radar, but he always does. I do think that's true. But so was Immortal Hulk, and then all of a sudden Immortal Hulk blew up and everybody was aware of it. I feel like we're getting to that point. I think if they make Detective North do something really cool coming up, I think it could be really exciting. Sing J, that's a new name for the chat. I love the Superman logo you got there. Is this a Star Wars mech shirt you're wearing? Yes, it's the Blueprint one. I think somebody earlier said they were wearing the Millennium Falcon one. I liked the blue color for the AT-AT one, so I've worn this one a bunch. I love this AT-AT shirt. One of my favorites. Stephanie says hello. Downright Nerdy Podcast, my buddy Michael's in the chat. He's hungry too. Happy Saturday, yeah. Riley says hello.
I already waved.
Oh, is that who you were saying hello to? Honey Nut Cheerios for breakfast, says Katie Magoon.
You did! You're Trevor!
Trevor, you are clever.
Oh
You
my
found our
gosh.
YouTube channel. Kate's very sneaky about sharing her YouTube channel.
Yes.
I should say our YouTube. Can I say it as our YouTube channel?
I called it your YouTube channel
Oh,
that
that's
we're
very nice.
on.
Very magnanimous of you. Hello. Hello, Trevor. Hopefully you're enjoying the first of your many days off here. The first Spider-Gwen is right. Yeah, she's right here. And then there's Mayday Parker and Elektra. I went with 3 Marvel women first appearances in the slabs this morning because it's Women's History Month right now. So shout out to the Women's History Month. I've also got 2 Marvel lady covers here, and then behind Kate, if she slouches down a little,
It is Trevor. Haha, that's funny.
there's 2 Marvel ladies over here. So we got, other than the Ninja Turtles in the center, we got Marvel ladies rocking all the way around. Let's see. The Ramita Nachina run introduced the character at the end of the book. Okay. She wrote the book after Frank Miller and Danny O'Neill. I think she was at it for almost 4 years. Then I must have, you know what, if it's that Romita run after, then I've got a bunch and I've read a ton of it. Okay. And I have read a bunch of it. The problem, John Romita Jr.'s artwork runs real hot and cold for me. I'll read an issue where it's like, that was really well done. And then I'll read the next issue and I'm just like, God, this is so bad. So I ride the roller coaster with that artist. Romita Sr. on Spider-Man and stuff, you can't beat Romita Sr. And Romita Jr. is just like, he was on my favorite stuff, Daredevil and X-Men. And some of it I loved, and some of it I couldn't stand. And Punisher, he did Punisher too. And I just can't handle it. Uh-oh, Kate's in the background there doing something.
I'm trying to find another book that I can share.
Why don't you go in your room and grab one? You've been reading a ton.
Stall them.
I will stall them. Dylan's Comics is in the chat. One of my beautiful ladies is still laying in bed. She's just, that time change and just all the things that have been going on lately. I think she's just beat. She's not having it. Plus, she's sad that AYSO here canceled the entire spring season that she's in the middle of. So she's sad about soccer, all that kind of stuff. Yep. Two Gun Pedro, I'm sorry I missed you. Pew pew. Pew pew. I think it's one of the most enjoyable people to spot in the chat because everybody wants to say pew pew. I will have to pick Edwin's brain and Perry's brain on what I can do. I'm using OBS Streamlabs right now, so it's a little bit new to me. I want to find ways to do the super chats and things just for these shows. I'm going to be using OBS for Saturday morning comics with the girls, and I'm going to be using OBS for Charlie and I when we're reading whatever book we're reading. So we're doing Harry Potter right now, book 3. And I'm going to use OBS for that as well. Obviously, for shows when I have guests and things, I got to use StreamYard. It'll be a little easier. But this layout, this setup will be used for me with when it's just me and the girls. Right? I think that'll work really well. Somebody asked a question. I'm sorry I missed it. Coffee. Coach Vic, I don't drink a lot of coffee. I'm the rare teacher who drinks more tea than coffee. It's been a little more coffee maybe this year than other years as I'm getting older maybe. But I generally drink tea. So this is English breakfast tea this morning. I usually drink either English or Irish breakfast tea. OBS looks really clean. It's so foreign to me. No idea how to use it. Hey Mike, I can help you out and teach you a little bit. I know that Edwin and Perry are the masters. They got all kinds of cool stuff. And hello to Varingian Vigilante as well. Kate has a great book that's also a really awesome movie, underrated movie. What do you got, Caters?
Holes. I love this story. I read it in 4th grade and I read it before 4th grade too. It's very funny, and you don't really notice that his name is backwards until later, because his name is Stanley Yelnats.
Yep.
If you flip it backwards, it's Stanley Yelnats.
Do you remember the word for that? When a word can go forward or backwards, there's a name for that. You want to see if the chat can come up with it? See if anyone in the chat knows the word for something that goes the same forward and backwards. Shout out to Downright Nerdy for saying tea Earl Grey hot. He knows his Picard, big Star Trek fan. Maybe we should take some time to watch some new Star Trek maybe while we're on break. Catch some Star Trek. Let's see here. Let's see. Shia LaBeouf. Yes, he is in that. There. Oh, Palantine. It's very, very close cardstock variant. Very close. Palpatine. Need a new computer before I run OBS again. My computer struggles with it. This is a very new computer. I specifically paid a little extra for a gaming computer, knowing I would need it. There it is. Pretty close. Palindrome. Yeah.
Palindrome. Oh.
A palindrome. So like race car, right? Race car can go forward or backwards.
Mr. Owl ate my metal worm.
Mr. Owl ate my metal worm. That's a cool one. I didn't know that one. I know I'm a lasagna hog, go hang a salami. Yeah, I'm a lasagna hog, go hang a salami. Goes forward or backwards. I don't know why. That's useless.
But yes.
Is TJ in here? How did I miss TJ? There he is. Good morning to you, Mr. Slab Dragon. Sorry about that. I didn't say hello when you jumped in. So, what do you think of Holes? Firstly, I want to say Louis Shar, great writer.
He's super funny. He also wrote
Sideways Story.
Wayside School.
Yeah, all the Wayside School. Very fun. He's a hilarious writer. So, yeah, no doubt. And I do love the book Holes. Very funny.
Basically, for those of you who don't know it, it's about this boy named Stanley Yelnats, and he says his family is cursed because of his great-grandfather. And one day Stanley's walking and shoes hit him on the head, and he's like, oh, cool, this must mean something. This must mean that my father's invention that has to do with shoes is going to work. So he starts running, and then a police car comes next to him, and he's like, what? And then they're like, you stole those shoes. And he's like, no, they hit me on the head. And then he gets sent to either prison, he can get sent to prison, or he can get sent to Camp Green Lake.
Yep. His family also has a history of bad luck, and they've
Very
had
bad
it
luck.
since the beginning. His dad's a struggling inventor. Stanley's always had bad luck, and it's about like the relationship between generations and how the history of this Green Lake city and the Yelnats family and all these sort of
There
interrelationships.
was a lot of connections.
That's the beauty of it. I think it's a really well written book because it all sort of connects into each thing. And the Shia LaBeouf film is really good.
Who's
Shia LaBeouf plays Stanley. He's also in the first few Transformers movies. He's in a bunch. He's in the really bad Indiana Jones movie. It's got Sigourney Weaver, who I am a huge fan of, even though she's the bad guy in Holes. I love Sigourney Weaver. I think
she's the warden.
Yeah, she is amazing. I just recently rewatched a bunch of movies with her. She's in Avatar, of course, that Kate likes. And what else is it she's in? She got Finding Dory. She's got her voice.
What about that alien?
Oh, yeah, Galaxy Quest. Kate likes Galaxy Quest.
So funny.
Can I say something, John, about the show tonight? Of course, Rod, this is a free form. The chat, I don't like censoring my chat. If you got a show coming up, you want to shout it out, awesome. I hopefully will mention it and catch it. But obviously, clearly, sometimes I miss stuff. I wanted to mention Backseat Driver dropped a really great palindrome in the chat. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama. It goes, he wasn't just talking in tongues. That is a palindrome. A man, a plan, a canal, Panama.
Wow.
Not only is it a great palindrome, but it actually makes sense on the history of the Panama Canal.
Yeah, a man, a plan, and a canal.
Not and. You can't put
I
the
know,
and in there.
but like,
yeah.
if you rephrased it.
Yeah. Katie Kaboom says Holes is such a great book. It's a great book. Yeah, very, very entertaining.
I like Zero. That's my favorite character.
He's an actual cannibal. Who's an actual cannibal? Open invite for Coast to Coast Comics today. Maybe I'll jump in there with you, Rod. I'll be the West Coast for you, brother. I don't think we're doing anything today. I think we're just here at the house. Tomorrow, I get to hang out with somebody very important tomorrow.
Who?
The head of DGC Comics. He's making a trip to the West Coast. He's traveling out here for, I'm sure, important business dealings. DGC Comics, if you haven't seen, a very new on the scene slabbing company. DGC Comics coming to the West Coast to talk about all their new business frontiers, things that are going on with the DGC label and the name. See, Cardstock Variant knows what I'm talking about. D-Runk Comics, George, who we've met before, is coming out here with his wife Kelly again.
And they're twins.
They don't have,
No, that's James Fox, sorry.
Yeah. So he's flying out here, he's hanging out. And so I'm going to hang out with George, D-Runk Comics, a bunch tomorrow.
They're the one we took around in
DGC rocks, says JP's Budget Collecting. Yeah, so we're going to hang out with George, and I might go take him to a couple of shops around here that I go to a bunch. And then if we're brave enough to go out to dinner at a restaurant, we might do that as well, depending on how he's feeling.
Echo?
Hydra says he wants to link a rod. So,
Cardstock Variant says there's no.
is there an echo? I'm
Is there
sorry.
an echo?
I'm sorry if there's an echo. There shouldn't be, because it's really just us and the one mic.
Sudden echo. Echo fixed audio.
Fixed audio, sudden echoing. Ooh.
I don't know what's going on with the audio. Is it any better now? I don't know what I'm doing that's any different. Big echo. Oh, jeez. All of a sudden there's an echo? I haven't done anything. That's weird.
You didn't even touch anything.
No audio, they said. That's because I muted it for a second. And then I just unmuted it. Say something evil like, isn't everything I say echo in the audio? Jeez.
Better.
The old man and the PC. I know, right? That's all you get. Better. I don't know what was going on there. I didn't change anything. That's weird. Sorry about that. The Boy Who Had Sevens in the chat. I mentioned Matt earlier. We're going to be trying to figure out best way to still try to meet up. If Florida's not going to work for him, if MegaCon, I don't know. So it must have just been a fluctuation in my Wi-Fi or something. I don't know. That was weird. I didn't click anything.
It's like a glitch.
Curious. I got the mad scientist hair really going today.
Yeah, you do.
All right, should I share one more book?
Sure.
All right, I'm going to share the book that came this week. I got X-Men number 8. This is the issue with the Brood, man. I love it. Sounded like the Terminator. Oh, good. I'll be back. I think the Brood are awesome. So they're creepy aliens from another planet that come to take over, right? The Brood. And they arrive on Earth in this issue. I just wish they had... I feel like Hickman backs off of good action. So I'm kind of frustrated with this issue that just when the action started happening, we jump off to something different. And I'm like, dude, just let the X-Men just kill some Brood, man. Let them wipe out some Brood. I wanted more of this cover, basically. And what I got was pretty good, but I just wanted more, for sure. I will say, I think Hickman's X-Men issues, 5, 6, and 7 were some of the best ones he's done yet. So I feel like he's going in the right direction. I was just a little bummed. Comic Gories is on Monday. You better believe it. I'm going to be referee again on the every other Monday Comic Gories. You can count on it. Every other Monday, we're going to try to consistently do that. And if you want to ever join, hit Matt up on Instagram or hit me up on Instagram, and we'll figure out a way to do that because we want more people. We want to get people in there. We got a ton of categories. Even Lady Fantastic, she's been firing category ideas at us. We're very much looking forward to more of that.
Best TV brands.
What's the best TP brands?
That's what it says.
I don't know which ones are the best.
Vigilante.
Comic Gories Quarantine Edition. Well, technically, that's the best thing about YouTube and the social media world we live in is can't catch coronavirus from watching YouTube sitting in your house. So we can all hang out together and talk and yet not run any risk of infecting one another. So we are definitely ready for homies in here. I'm going to get off of here because a bunch of auctions and things are getting going, and I don't want to be on top of people too much. I Got Issues is in the chat. Chris is an awesome good friend, and I don't think MegaCon is officially postponed or canceled yet. They released a statement saying they're going to wait and see a little bit, but I have a feeling it's going to get postponed or canceled at some point. How many books do I have graded, Katie Kaboom? I think it's less than 30. I think it's less than 30. And a bunch of them I do need to sell at some point. I'm just waiting for the right time to sell certain books. I don't have a lot of slabs. I got 12 books slabbed on my own just recently, at the end of last year. And most of those are going to be for sale. I've sold only one of the 12 yet. What happens when the read pile is gone? I know, right? I got a ton of trades. I can read trades for months and probably be fine.
Oh my gosh. Dad,
What?
you're so loud.
Am I too loud?
Your microphone thing went all the way up to yellow, and when I talk, it's just like barely even moving.
Maybe because you've got a quieter voice. I have the big teacher voice.
You do have the big teacher voice. There. That's loud for me.
I'm sorry. I want to meet you too, Kirk. I don't know if you've bought your plane ticket, but anybody who is curious about MegaCon and their plans, let me know because I want to know if there's a bunch of people going despite the con being potentially moved. I want to know. And if a bunch of people are waiting to go when the con is postponed, I want to know as well, so that I go when I can see the most people. I want to see as many friends as possible. That's my goal, because I'm gonna go to Florida. I'm going to Orlando at some point. I just need to figure out when.
A lot of people live there.
A bunch of people live there. Finally got to meet JP and D-Runk and Bear in Chicago. I've yet to meet JP, Chris, and I've yet to meet you. So those are the only two on that list. I'm hanging out with D-Runk tomorrow. And obviously I hung out with Bear in Baltimore. Boyod says he's going to wait if it's postponed. Okay. Flights from New York to Orlando are just $43. Oh my God. I wish. 43. I'm lucky. If you put a 0 on the end of that, I got issues. It's still the cheapest flight that I've been able to find.
Wow.
430 from California to Orlando. It's just ridiculous, the difference between being back east and just flying south or flying across the U.S. It's ridiculous. All right, we're going to get out of here. Big Will has an auction. Tacoma has an auction. Comic Head 84 has an auction. There's going to be a bunch of people selling good books and doing things. So make sure you sub some people up and take a look. Maybe you can find a great deal. Justin Rican says he paid $800 to go to Philly. Ugh. Hopefully you still can go and enjoy your dad's wedding, Rod. And again, shoot me the link this afternoon, and I will be happy to know to join. I know, right? Same here, John. Yeah. Kirk, let me know what your plans are too. I can fly from New York to Hawaii for $500. Come on, Chris, you're killing me, brother. Killing me. All right, everybody, we're gonna bounce out of here. I hope you all have a great weekend. Stay healthy, stay safe. And I hope to see a bunch of you in the chats and on shows later today.
And enjoy your freedom from school while it lasts.
Enjoy a little break from school and online classes.
Oh, that's going to be so fun.
We're going to do a ton of reading around here. And it sounds like maybe some Star Trek. Sound good? Awesome. All right. Bye, friends. Riley, goodbye to you.
Goodbye, friends.